I'm CK, and I don't have a fancy smartwatch or anything like that. I never have gotten around to it. But tonight, in this bag, we've got a watch, electronic watch, which I think will be the perfect solution and just as good as any smartwatch out there. So let's put it together and see what we actually get. I hope you enjoy the video. Here's the bag. As I recall, I picked this up from Amazon. I'm going to get a parts tray over here. Let's open her up. Take a look at the piece of paper. Okay, LED watch. Tells you how to put it together. Got a little Nixie tube in it. That's nice. I don't think it's a real Nixie tube, but we'll see. And there's an interesting schematic. Very blurry. PCB installation drawing, which has the various sizes. It doesn't look like we have many components to this. Just the chip, the display, a couple of resistors, a timing crystal, 3278 Hertz, good clock type crystal, a couple of 22 picofarad capacitors, and maybe 2 chips. Yeah, it's 2 chips. Okay, let's see what we got, what they look like. First, we've got the STC 15W48AS microprocessor, and then I believe this one, DS1302, is a clock chip. Let me look that up real quick. I may pause, I may skip a little while I search online. DS1302 trickle charge timekeeping chip, designed to operate in very low power and retain date and clock information on less than 1 microwatt. So yeah, that's the clock. And the chip will be reading it and then putting out to display and controlling it. Here are the body of the clock pieces that we'll be putting together somehow or other. Some acrylic or something like that. I don't know if it's real acrylic or not. It's going to be pretty thick. That's going to be pretty stylish, let me tell you. Here we have the watch band. Again, high quality hook and loop. It'll be perfect. Here's another inner bag, which has a circuit board, where the battery goes, and yeah, okay, this is going to take like 4 minutes to put together. Actually, longer than that, because I have to put the case together, and that's often the hardest part on products like this. Here is the digital display, not a Nixie tube, but a good enough display anywhere. So anyway, switches with the legs kind of bent. This should be a 104, is it? Yep, that's a 104 cap, and here's the 222 picos. Battery holder, piece of styrofoam. Here is the timing crystal, 4 resistors, and not much more to say about that, even though the circuit board looks pretty good. It's through-hole plated. It's a good, seems like reasonably good quality, even though the outer layer seems to be peeling up a little bit at the edges. But we'll figure that all out. 4 screws and nuts to put it all together when we're done. So that's it. Not much more to talk about in the parts realm, so we'll put this thing together. And as you might have noticed, they kept costs down. They didn't include any sockets for the ICs we'll be soldering them directly to the board, which is just dandy. Now I'll take these 10K resistors, put them on. They're 1/4 watt, which makes sense because this thing is not going to be using a lot of power. I think it's a 2032 goes in here, but it doesn't actually specify the battery. Let me look at the battery holder again. Yeah, but I think a 2032 should power it. If not, I think I have, what's that other part number? I've got another battery that'll fit that holder, but again, I think a 2032 lithium should make it work just fine. I'm going to move these leads around differently. So that's 3 resistors, but I got 4. I think they gave me an extra resistor, which is always nice. Let's see how this board solders up. That solder's too thin. I'll use my 3-1. Oh yeah, board takes solder very well. Again, it's a pretty good quality circuit board for this level of kit. And we'll put this resistor in my extra parts from kits box, which has tons of parts that came extra with kits. What are we going to do now? I think I'll put this timing crystal down now. So it goes above here. Oh, there it goes. Wow, the one issue is, look at these. These are the 2 holes for the timing crystal, and there's the leg of the clock chip. I think they're probably tied together. Yeah, they are tied together. Clock chips generally are not polarized. And we're going to lay this flat so we can assemble it into the sandwich that will make it a stylish accessory. I'm going to a Giants ball game on Saturday, and I can wear this watch, and I would bet of the thousands of people in this ballpark, I will be the only one wearing this watch. Would you want to take a bet on that with me? Or do you think I'm correct? Wow, these, oh, that's the 104, that's why. I'm sorry, I thought I had the 22 Pico in my hand, but I didn't. Put the 22s in, decoupling caps, and the 104. Well, the holes are all spaced really correctly. That's nice too. So it's a very well laid out board, and componentry is fine. Again, better quality than many in this function and price class. Now I'm going to go and put the chips on right now. And let me see if I can say, oh, the notches, and the notches face each other. Press fit is holding them in place pretty well. I'm going to need, I'll use some of this thin solder. Get these legs all done. I'm going to put the display chip on now. Now I'm a little confused here. So I'm going to put this down, but then there's a row of pads right here that don't appear to have anything that go on them. And I think they're going to be covered up by the display. Let me blow off this styrofoam. These legs are a little snaggled too. Oh yeah, that whatever those other leads are for, or other solder points are for, they're covered up by the clock face. Now we'll put the switches on, and I don't know if you can hear it, the coyotes are being really loud tonight, but I don't know if this microphone picks it up or not. Now the battery cover. I guess it goes in like that. It's pretty much the only way it can go in. The other way, that can't be right, because the pins, oh no, it fits in there that way, okay. That's fine. And that is the physical assembly. Now I have to see if I can put the battery in. I'm going to have to put the battery in before I put the case on, so let me get that. See if these 2032s will fit. Let me look at the schematic and see if it's got, oh, it's plus 5 volt. Is that a 5 or a 3? I actually can't tell whether that's a 5 or a 3. Well, since these are 3s, I'm going to have to go with what I have. I don't have any 5 volt button batteries. But let's slide this in and see what it does. Well, there we go. We got something going on. And we can go ahead and set the time. Install the button cell and press 2 buttons for restoration of circuits at the same time till it shows 12. There we go, we've got 12 there. What time actually is it? I'm banging the mic, sorry. So that's 9:36. Press the right button for 360, or for 3 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3. And nothing happens. Let me do this again. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3. Let me turn off this light so you guys can see it maybe a little better. Well, that's not actually, oh, there we go. You have to let it go then. Left button to set the hour, so it's 21, then I guess we'll do that, and it's 21:36 or so. We'll call it 37. Yeah. Okay, confirmation, press the left button again, and oops. Dang it. Oh no, it did it wrong. I think you mean press the right button again, don't you guys? Because the left button just makes the time go up another minute. There we go. Press the right button. Check the time, press the left button, 5 seconds. Okay. So, flick it on, it'll stay on for a little bit, and then go off. Okay, so that's how it works, and it does work, and it's a fine little clock unit. I may not even use it as a watch. I may hang it somewhere in the shop here. Now we'll do, I'll pause the cameras for a minute because I'm going to peel all the backing material off of all these, and that's really boring to watch on video. So I will turn the cameras off, turn it back on when we're ready to put the mechanical bits together. Okay, so the backing's off, and we'll go ahead and put this fancy strap through. It's got 2 slots, and I could wind the band through it, but I'm just doing it like the picture, and the picture doesn't have the band wound through it. So I'll just put it through like so, get it kind of even. Now we're going to put piece 2 with the nuts up there over those holes. Let me get this. Oh, I see how that's going. Well, that's interesting. And we'll put the captive nuts in these 2 positions here. And instead of messing about with anything fancy, I just use a screw to pick them up and hold them perpendicular. Now we also want to put a screw through this side. Oops, we don't want the captive nut to get carried away. We'll put a screw through the other side to hold this stack steady as we build it up. And aligned, okay, good. Now we take the PCB and number 3, which it should be this one. Oops. Put that over here, get it all organized. Okay, I gotta get that screw fell out, so I gotta put that back in there. Golly. You think when you're building something like this, the electronics parts would be the hard part. They're not. It's these wacky cases. There we go. Got 2 captive nuts, I've got 2 screws, I've got the circuit board in place pretty well, and that screw fell out again. I should put some tape on that, but I won't. Now we do, I have 3 on, now we take 4. 4 goes on in a similar fashion. Now we take 5, and 5 goes here, and that it's got its own captive nuts, which I'll try and drop on here because since we got a screw in there, it's a little more interesting. Yep, that drops in just fine. Do the other one. It holds that stack together, kinda. Oops, came out. Now we take the top crystal, so to speak. We put it like so. Now we drop these 2 screws in, and give us an extra screw. That's interesting. Let's screw down like so. Should be catching the captive nut, and it is. So that's a little bit tight. Not too tight. Now we'll take this in here. put the watch on. And there we go. How stylish is that? Let me turn the light off again so you can see it again. See how, now that is a watch. If you're going to have a watch, that's a watch. So that's what it is, a very easy electrical build, a little bit finicky on the mechanical assembly, but it's a fine little kit, and I hope you enjoyed the video.